In a few hours, two nations will walk onto a field in Dallas and fight for a place in history. But long before Mbappé and Yamal, before Deschamps and De La Fuente, France and Spain were writing a very different kind of rivalry, one fought not with goals, but with cannons, crowns, and blood across the Pyrenees. Tonight's match is just the latest chapter in a story that began over 300 years ago. Picture the border between France and Spain, the Pyrenees Mountains. A jagged wall of stone that has divided these two nations for centuries. It's never just been a line on a map.
A threat to us all.
It's been a fault line of empires, marriages, betrayals, and wars that reshaped Europe. Tonight, two teams will battle for 90 minutes. But the real history behind this rivalry lasted for generations. In 1700, the King of Spain died without an heir, and Europe held its breath. France's king, Louis XIV, saw an opportunity, placing his own grandson on the Spanish throne. Other European powers feared a united France and Spain would dominate the continent. The result was the War of the Spanish Succession, a brutal 13-year conflict that dragged in nearly every major power in Europe. When it's ended, a French prince sat on the Spanish throne. But Spain and France remained separate, watchful, and never fully trusting one another again. A century later, the tension exploded again. In 1808, Napoleon Bonaparte marched 200,000 French soldiers across the Pyrenees, promising friendship and protection. Instead, he seized the Spanish throne for his own brother. The Spanish people refused to accept it. In the streets of Madrid, ordinary citizens, bakers, farmers, mothers, rose up with knives and kitchen tools against the most powerful army in Europe. It was the beginning of a war that would humiliate Napoleon and give the world a new word: guerrilla. For 6 brutal years, Spanish fighters melted into the mountains and struck French supply lines under cover of darkness, vanishing before dawn. Whole villages became silent conspirators, hiding weapons beneath church floors. Napoleon himself admitted Spain became his Spanish ulcer, a wound that drained his empire dry while he was distracted by Russia. The war Napoleon expected to win in weeks stretched on for years, and it never truly healed the wound between these two nations. Centuries passed, empires fell, but the rivalry never disappeared. It simply changed its weapons. Where armies once clashed in mountain passes, national football teams now clash on a manicured pitch. The history is different, but the tension is the same. To proud nations, sharing a border, a history of conflict, and a fierce refusal to back down to the other. Spain has won this fixture in some of the most dramatic tournaments in recent memory. France has answered with dominant victories of its own. Every meeting between these two carries the weight of everything that came before. Now, hundreds of years after Bourbon princes and guerrilla fighters, two teams walk out under the lights of Dallas Stadium. The uniforms have changed. The weapons are boots and a ball. But make no mistake, when France and Spain take the field tonight, they carry centuries of history onto the grass with them. This isn't just a semifinal. It's the newest chapter in one of Europe's oldest rivalries. Crowns lost, cities burned, empires humbled, and yet these two nations remain forever bound together, forever rivals, forever tied by history neither can escape. Tonight, that story continues one more time. History never truly disappears. It just finds a new stage. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more untold history behind the moments that shape our world, and tell us in the comments, who do you think wins tonight, France or Spain?